Good evening, Al-pam viewers. It is producer Ken filling in tonight. Got a great guest with us tonight. We're going to talk to, and I'm going to ask him here in a second about how we actually define this. I want to call him Senate candidate elect or Senator elect Bob Brinson, who basically is District 3, right, Senator?
Actually, right now, it depends on what you're talking about. I am a Senate candidate, yes,
Yep,
for District 3,
yep.
Craven, Beaufort, and Lenoir counties, but I am now a nominee for Senate for District 2, which currently is, again, Craven, Beaufort, and Lenoir. But and the switchover in January, it changes the number, so it gets a little confusing. Um, but Tuesday night, the executive committees for Craven, Beaufort, and Lenoir Republican parties, which is called the Second District Senatorial Committee, nominated me to fill the unexpired term caused by Senator Jim Perry's resignation.
Okay,
So that nomination now goes to the governor, and he either can nominate me at his choosing, or he takes no action in 7 days, it becomes automatically effective. So
okay.
um, again, that only is the unexpired term, so that nomination will only take me to December of 2024. But I will be on your ballot in November to start my own term in January of 2025, and then that'll
Okay.
be the third district. If that kind of makes sense,
Yeah,
it's
it can be
part
a
of the
little bit unique,
redistricting.
unique cliff notes with that. And Bob has been on our Al-pam program before, and is an amazing candidate. And my first question is, I know you have been throughout Lenoir and through Beaufort, and of course you're from Craven. What are you hearing from the people? What are the issues you're hearing from them that are important for your district?
Well, I tell you, the first thing is immigration. I mean, the fact that we have criminals coming across our border and committing crimes is one thing. We've got to support our sheriffs and give them what they need to combat that. And as we had discussed too, there's House Bill 10 out there that compels sheriffs to work with ICE, because we have de facto counties where sheriffs refuse to adhere to ICE detainers or even work with ICE. So, I mean, that is an absolutely big issue. Uh, and particularly the criminals, too, not only committing crimes, but the drugs that are coming across the southern border. And as we have always said, every state's a border state now. And so we've got to support our law enforcement, and we've got to give them the tools they need to combat that, and support our sheriffs and get rid of the drugs. That's one thing. The second one, it really is inflation. I mean,
Mhm.
you talk about hitting people's pocketbooks. I mean, our prices are skyrocketing, and the Democrats, they keep talking about, hey, well, inflation is slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. Well, the prices don't come back down. It just means they're increasing more slowly.
Sure.
And we had a period there that just everything is going up, 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 and it's in it's masked too, because we have an administration that is releasing our oil reserves to try and keep oil prices low, but that'll eventually run out, and our gas prices will go back up because they're limiting our drilling, our for new oil, fracking, all of that, and placing essentially undue emphasis on green energy and causing the government to give subsidies that are really driving up inflation and driving up our deficit as well. So, we've got to let our markets take care of what's happening with green energy, and that'll help our economy right itself. So those are the two big things.
Sure, sure. What do you, and I don't know if people know, and I hope our viewers know, but right now in the Senate we have, I guess what's called, is it a supermajority?
We
And could you talk a little bit about, basically how does, when you get up there, how important is it for you to get up there to help keep that super majority or the Republican majority in the Senate?
Yeah, that is a great question because the Senate currently, no longer has a supermajority. Essentially, we had the exact number we needed of 30 Republicans in the Senate that required a supermajority, which gives you the ability to do veto overrides without any help from the Democrats. And when Senator Jim Perry resigned, that took us to 29. So we were one vote short of a supermajority. So that's why my appointment is so very important, because there's basically five bills that are waiting that the governor has vetoed and are waiting for a veto override. And so essentially, that won't happen in the Senate until I get nominated. I get appointed. I've
Sure.
already been nominated, but I get appointed and I get seated. So that will restore the 30 votes needed for a veto override or a supermajority in the Senate. They do still have a supermajority in the House, I believe, because you've had uh, two House members resign, one of them on both sides, one Democrat and one Republican. So I do think they still hold a supermajority, but we'll see how that goes as far as their appointments as well.
Education is an important subject, I know, for you and me. I mean, if viewers don't know, talk a little bit about your thoughts on things like school choice, and also talk about, because I know that's an important part of where you're from in Craven. Talk about, your thoughts about the community college system and role it plays in education too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So to answer the first question, I absolutely believe in school choice. I mean, parents ought to be able to put their child in a place that aligns with their values. I've gotten to the point where I don't call public public schools anymore. I call them government schools because that's essentially what they are. Uh, they're adhering to whatever rules the government is putting out, whether it be a liberal government or whether it be a conservative government. Um, and so we've got to be able to give parents a choice. And one of the things, like you talk about, educating folks, we have in Craven County a new charter school that is being stood up. But
Hmm.
parents need to educate themselves on that charter school, because I am under the belief that this charter school will actually be more liberal than our government schools. So,
Wow.
just because it's a charter school doesn't mean it's conservative.
Sure.
Just because it's a charter school doesn't mean it's better. So do your due diligence and do your education, learn more about those places before you just move your child and say, "Oh, well, this has got to be better because it's not the government school anymore." The other thing is, I think we should fully fund our school voucher program. Our opportunity scholarship program.
Mhm.
We should fully fund that. That was a promise that both the Senate and the House has made this year, and we have not done that. I believe we still can, under the adjournment rules that were um, approved at the end of June. I probably won't be able to take that up until September, but that's past the date. A lot of folks have already made decisions, but it still can be done. Um, and so that's what we need to fully fund those. And then community colleges. I'll tell you, community colleges are incredibly important for not just those that want to go to college, but those that want to learn a trade, or those that
Yeah.
want to get a certification, or those that want to be an entrepreneur and build their own business. I mean, the community colleges are there to help you do that. You don't have to go to a four-year university to do that. And so some of the things that are going on in both the Lenoir Community College and the Craven Community College is they are starting a workforce development path to work in the aerospace industry. And when
Sure.
I'm talking about aerospace, I'm talking about the wide band of aerospace, where it's is, from maintenance to electronics to sheet metal to engines to prop and rotor to all of those types of things. And that just gives you a leg up and gives you the certifications to work at places like FRC East or Aero Systems or Fly Exclusive or any of those companies that are in and around in Craven and Lenoir. And then I also know that Beaufort County Community College is starting a drone program
Sure, sure.
because they're working on Washington Warren being a drone center of excellence. And so essentially, the community colleges are our workforce path to those industries that are in and around those counties. And, because a county is an arbitrary border, it becomes regional where you draw a workforce in to work in a particular place. So it's not county against county or municipality against municipality. It benefits us all when we work together for workforce development, and community colleges play a huge role in doing that.
Bob, we won't keep you. I know a lot of people. We've got 15 counties in the Al-pam News Network. So, to sort of wrap this up a little bit, if people don't know you, how can people follow you? And what's your socials and website so people can stay up? Because it's important for people to be engaged. I know we're going to broadcast. It's August, and August gets a little bit hot. But, we're going to blink, and it's going to be time to start voting. And we can't say enough how important it is for our people to stay engaged and stay informed.
Yeah, you talk about how quickly it comes. September 6th is when absentee ballots start getting mailed. I mean,
Wow.
that is like, holy cow. The election's only like 104 days away right now. Early voting starts October 17th. I mean, it'll be here before we know it exactly. VoteBobBrinson.com is my website. At Vote Bob Brinson on both Facebook and Instagram, and then it's Bob Brinson Jr. at on LinkedIn. Those are all of my ways to get a hold of me. And you talked about a 15 county area. I mean, I basically agree that all of our lawmakers from Eastern North Carolina need to work together
Yep.
to support our rural communities, because there's just nothing like it. And we've got to band together and remind all those people that live in the middle of the state that they enjoy coming down to the beaches and they enjoy coming down fishing, and they love getting our seafood that we catch and send to them. But
Yep.
they got to protect all that, and they've got to help us to continue to do all that if they want to continue to enjoy it. So our lawmakers, when it comes to the House or the Senate, we've got to work together. Just to let you know, between the four counties, or the three counties that I will end up representing, I have four House members that are within that district. So those are the types of relationships that I have to build and work on so that we can do what's best for Eastern North
Sure.
Carolina.
Sure. Well, Al-pam viewers, thank you for watching us tonight. We've been talking to Bob Brinson. Again, have a great weekend. Stay informed, stay engaged, and thank you for watching the Al-pam News Network.
Thank you.